Espinosa-Anderson. Wow, that is a great last name.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
It's a mouthful.
It's a mouthful. So how long you been working for solid waste?
Well, on Friday, I actually celebrated 32 years working with the county.
And what's today? Today's a special day between you and I.
Yes, it's International Women's Day.
Okay, so International Women's Day. Every day is Women's Day in our community newspapers. Every day is Women's Day.
I like that.
Speak about international. You were born where?
Cuba.
What part of Cuba?
Cardenas.
And did your parents come? Did you come? How did you get from Cuba to United States?
Well, my uncle actually came in the 60s, and he started the paperwork to bring our whole family. And we were a big family.
How big a family?
7 kids and my parents. So we were a family of
your
9.
Parents have 7 children.
7 children.
Where were you ranked?
Number 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what city were you born in?
Cardenas. Most people don't know about Cardenas, but remember Leon, that whole years ago? Right. Well, he put us on a map because I'm from that same city.
For sure, your parents didn't have television.
Actually, they did.
And they still had 7 children?
And they still had 7 children.
Wow. All right. So what are the age ranges?
Oh, gosh. Let's see. My oldest sister, I think, is 67. And then my brother is the youngest, and he just turned 50.
17 years difference.
Yes. Wow. About every 2 years, my mom had a child.
Wow.
Amazing.
Okay. So when did your parents come, or you come from Cuba? What year?
We came on April 1st, 1970.
1970.
Yes.
Did you land in Miami, or did you land in?
Yes, we actually landed in Miami. We stayed here.
All 9 of you guys.
All 9 of us. Everyone. All of us here. And we came with just the clothes on our backs when we got here.
And where'd you go? Where was your first stop?
Here in Miami.
No, but after you arrived, where'd you arrive? Miami International?
Yes, in Miami International. Now, granted, I was young, so I don't remember all the specific details, but I know we stayed here a few days, and then we went to New Jersey, to Union City. That's where all the Cubans lived back in the day. So my aunt and uncle lived there. So
what do you call it, aunt? Your aunt.
Oh, I call it aunt.
Aunt. You go aunt.
Yeah, but when I say aunt, I think of that little, the little.
Okay, so you drove to New Jersey. Do you remember? Or you flew?
I don't remember.
All right, so you went to New Jersey for how long?
Well, we lived there from 1970 to 78. Okay. It was an interesting story because it was actually a family of 9 living in a 2-bedroom apartment. 1 bedroom from my parents and my brother, who was very little at the time, was still in a crib. And then the other bedroom was for the rest of us in bunk beds.
How exciting. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, it was kind of fun. It's interesting because I think the most fun that we ever had was when we were poor back then. And we did. Things were so different. Kids played outside.
In New Jersey, it's like, people see the fire hydrant. Miami, you go, what are you doing? But everywhere else,
yes,
kids play like that.
Exactly. Open the fire hydrant and let the water out. We had some sprinklers. I mean, it was just a lot of fun.
All right, so did you move to Miami alone, or did your family move?
No, my parents didn't believe in leaving anybody behind. So in 1978, I'll never forget, it was November and it was a weekend for Thanksgiving. And my dad just said to my mom, I'm moving to Miami. And she said, you're crazy. He goes, yeah, I'm crazy. That's where I'm going. He packed up the station wagon, took my oldest brother. They drove down, they found jobs. And in February of the following year, they bought their very first home down here.
Wait. So the older son and the father came down first.
Yes.
Then he sent for you guys to come down.
Yes. And then so they
78, 79. So where did you end up going to school then?
Oh, I'm a proud chief. Did
you go to? You went to?
Well, no. Yes, I was in an elementary school back then, so I went to Lake Stevens.
That's in Miami Gardens. If people don't know where that is, it wasn't called Miami Gardens. It was called
Carroll City.
Carroll City.
Yes.
And then you went to the Carroll City
Senior High School.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Did you do any college after that? Did school?
Oh, absolutely. My first 2 years, I had an academic scholarship, so I went to Miami-Dade. Back then, it was a community college. I went there my first 2 years.
South, north, west?
No, it was the North Campus. And then from there, I moved on to Florida International University, FIU.
Right.
And I went and got my bachelor's there.
In what?
In communications.
Well, you're doing a good job communicating.
Well, thank you.
Okay, and so then how do you get working for the county?
It was interesting. I kind of went to the county kicking and screaming. My best friend, Deb, was working for the county for corrections, and she was an account clerk, and she told me they had an opening there. And I was actually working for an accountant, and I said, no, I'm not interested. I'm comfortable where I'm working. And she's like, and I said, plus I got to take a pay cut to go work for the county. Who wants to do that? So she's like, oh, but the benefits are great. And she I applied, so she would stop bugging me. And I actually went on that interview and didn't even get selected. They thought I was overqualified for the position. So, but you had to take a test, and I stayed on the list. So as other county departments needed to fill that position, they would call the candidates. I scored, I think, like number 21 out of 300 or something like that. So
top 10%.
Yeah, so not so bad. So I actually got called by another department, and I turned that one down. And then the third department was solid waste disposal. So they offered me the job, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to take it. And here I am, 32 years later.
Wow. All right. So you work in solid waste.
Yes.
And what is your title?
I'm the assistant director of disposal operations.
In English, what does that mean? Or in Spanish? Because you're speaking a foreign language to me now.
Basically, I oversee the operations for the transfer division, the landfill division, and code enforcement.
So the transfer of garbage from the dump
Well, what most people don't know is that after the waste, the garbage truck goes to the neighborhoods, once the truck is full, a lot of them go to our waste to energy plant, but others go to what we call a transfer station, and they're kind of like a temporary holding facility.
Do they drop a container off and get another container?
No, they basically dispose of the waste that's in the truck,
right?
And then they leave to go back to the neighborhood, to the routes. And then we have tractor trailers, which are part of the transfer division, who come behind them. They load that waste into it, and then that goes to a waste to energy plant, or it goes to our landfills.
Gotcha. All right. So, and then you're in charge of code enforcement?
Yes, code enforcement.
Wow.
Yes.
My brother was supposed to do the show. He lives in horse country. They love calling you people.
Oh, really?
Oh, they love. So, because legal dumping. What are you going to tell Tommy? So what are you going to?
Go ahead, Tommy. Play that video.
There you go. All right, here he goes.
There's no audio on this.
You talk about it.
Okay. So basically, we see a vehicle, a pickup truck. They're driving, and what you will find is a lot of people want to do illegal dumping in areas that are somewhat isolated, where you may not see a lot of people outside that can see what they're doing. So he's getting out of his truck, and he obviously thinks that it's okay to just throw his stuff out here on the right of way.
No, he knows it's not. Look at him looking around.
Yeah, but what he doesn't know is that we have a camera, as you can see, that's capturing everything on video.
Is this private property, the camera, or is it you guys set it up?
No, we set it up. We actually have 21 cameras now throughout Miami-Dade County.
Okay, you can take it off now. Now, this gentleman, whoever he is, what is his fine?
Okay, well, first of all, specifically for this case, I don't recall.
No, but illegal dumping. All
right, it all depends on how much of illegal dumping. For the amount that he dumped, it'd probably be like $260 because it's not a lot.
But there's some companies, you have these big semis, they load up with trash or extra wood and I see them. They pull in and like. They know how to, they put all the trash to the back. You can see them. They slam on the brakes and the stuff goes back to open the door and they just take off.
Yeah. And now when it's a business, because basically when it's a private individual, it kind of depends on the amount that you illegally dump, what your fine will be. However, when it's a business, it doesn't matter what the quantity is. It's automatically the police can arrest you. A lot of people don't know that you can actually get arrested for illegally dumping. Not only can the police arrest you, but they can confiscate your vehicle as well, and then have you pay restitution.
Restitution, cleaning the trash up.
Exactly.
Wow. So it could be thousands of dollars.
Oh, absolutely. Now, with us, when we actually catch them, what we'd like to do is make them go back and clean up what they have done. We'd like to do that as well.
So that sends a message.
Exactly.
Why is there so much illegal dumping? It's like my brother lives in horse country. There's illegal dumping up and down the roads. And, you can see it even in nice areas. somebody sees a hole in the ground where trash is being picked, they dump it. Why? Why can't
Right.
they just go to the dump? Is there a particular reason?
Well, of course, I can't, I don't know for sure how people think, but what I think is they're trying to avoid the disposal fee. You know, in order to legally get rid of that, they have to go to our landfills and they have to pay a fee. So they think, oh, well, you know, why would I bother? I'll go somewhere where no one's watching and I'll just dump it there, which of course is not right.
Well, it's not really, especially if it's your property.
Absolutely.
If somebody's dumping something.
Yes.
It's brutal. So the main problem of Miami-Dade is people are lazy and they don't want to pay the dumping fee.
I think so. I think so.
Is your line where you dump the stuff?
Well, not always. It's not always that there's a line. I mean, yes, potentially there might be a heavy traffic on that particular day to go to a landfill, but not every day. I think also perhaps people don't know that residents themselves, they get 2 bulky pickups a year for free. It's part of the waste fee that they pay. 2.
Or my country, dose.
Exactly. And so every calendar year, as long as you live, within our service area, then you get two pickups.
What is the difference between that trash or grass or branches like Chapman Field? What kind of dump is that?
Illegal dumping is illegal dumping.
No, Chapman Field, you have a service area. You can bring trash.
Oh, your trash and recycling center.
What's the difference between that?
Okay, great. So as I said, you can either have 2 pickups where you actually call and you schedule it and you just put it right out on the right of way outside your home and we pick it up. Or you can go to one of our 13 trash and recycling centers. As long as you live within our service area, you can actually take things there for free and dump.
But do you have to go to your thing?
No,
anywhere?
No, you could go to any trash and recycling center as long as you live within the service area.
Where are the worst areas in Dade County for that? Do you have particular?
Well,
that's where your 22 cameras are.
Yeah.
Tommy, can we get the address to those cameras?
We don't want to tell them exactly where they are, but any area that's kind of isolated is really a bad area. One of the ones that we see a lot of illegal dumping is what we call the C9 basin. And that area is located like west of the turnpike near Okeechobee Road. It's a big, like kind of isolated area. We get a lot of illegal dumping there. And
that's right next to Hialeah Gardens.
Yeah, pretty close. Yes, yes. So, but typically anywhere where they think that no one is watching, that's where you're going to get that illegal dumping.
What is the county doing to fight that illegal dumping?
Well, there's a lot of things that we're doing. Actually, in 2017, they put together a task force, an illegal dumping task force, and it was spearheaded by our current director, Mike Fernandez, who was here, I think.
That's the big guy.
Yes, that's the big guy.
The big dog was here. Yes.
Yes. Well, he was the one that spearheaded that task force. They studied the problem and they came back in 2018 with some recommendations for improving it. One of those recommendations was to raise the fines, which we did. They also created the police department, the Miami-Dade Police Department created an illegal dumping unit.
And it's called the waste enforcement.
I'm sorry?
What is the waste enforcement?
Well, I mean, I guess some folks call it waste enforcement. It's code enforcement. But basically, we enforce Chapter 15 of the county code, which basically talks about or regulates the collection, the transportation, and the disposal of solid waste. And you'd be surprised that the part of Chapter 15 that most people violate the most is actually not calling to schedule a pickup. Like I said, you get 2 pickups a year.
Right.
All you have to do is call 311 and schedule it. A lot of people just start throwing things on their right of way without scheduling it. So that's probably one of the biggest violations that we have, the Chapter 15, aside from the illegal dumping, of course.
I think it's wrong. If you have trash in your yard, a pile, I can't stand people going from down the street putting their stuff in my trash. I know you're getting your pickup, but it's just wrong.
It is.
Because it sits there for 3 days, a huge pile.
Well, not only that, because you can't have more than 25 cubic yards. So if people keep adding onto the pile, you're going to go over the amount that's allotted. So now you're kind of in a jam. So, and it's just, like you said, it's just not right.
Police enforcement. So you have the code enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
so police could get involved completely.
Right, they can. Now, we actually, another thing I didn't mention is we have a special investigative unit in our department. It consists of 5 code enforcement officers and a supervisor. Small team, but they're very mighty. And they work very closely with the police department's illegal dumping. And that's how we get people arrested. A lot of times we, like in cases like this, where we're able to identify who the illegal dumper is, if the amount is large enough, then we can join forces with the police department, and then they will make the arrest.
You said you're like, there's 22 or whatever it is, cameras. Do you move them around?
Absolutely. Let's say we've had a camera for a while and now a specific area is kind of suppressed. Then we move it to another area that may be having a problem with legal dumping. And we have different kind of cameras. We have some that we call the Genetech, which are actually we need electricity for those. So they may put it like on a light pole, anywhere where there's some electricity. But there are areas, if they're secluded, that don't have anywhere for electricity. So then we've invested in trail/gaming cameras that people use like for hunting and stuff. And those are actually battery operated, and we can actually hide them. But of course, we have to be careful to secure them to make sure,
Right.
they don't get stolen or something like that. And we actually are now trying out solar. We bought 1 solar camera.
Okay, before we get to this next question, when people get caught and they got camera, do they ever go, "That wasn't me. That was my truck, but I wasn't in it"?
No,
They don't say that.
no, actually, I don't think we've ever encountered that. I mean, listen, if we got your truck with your tag, someone that looks like you, if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it's got to be a duck.
Okay, name your favorite case.
Oh,
I don't
gosh.
even know the detail of who owned it, like the
Okay.
biggest one.
Right.
Or-
I don't know that I can say there's a favorite case, but probably a case that I kind of like, and it actually happened recently. And what I like about it, that it was a joint effort. Again, us working with the police department. We had a camera out on a site, and the camera only caught a part of the tag on the vehicle. So the enforcement officer kept trying and trying and trying. And then in working with the police, we found out that they had a location nearby where they had a camera too. So they caught the rest of the tag. We were able to put the tag together, look for the vehicle, and we got them. So to me, that's awesome. The teamwork that we put together to get it done.
Some of these people that are legal, they're big companies.
Yeah.
And they're lazy. The driver just doesn't want to drive across the county or the state.
Exactly. Well, let me tell you about another case.
I want you to tell me.
Okay. In this particular case, it was one of those companies that
I thought you were nervous. You're not nervous anymore, right?
I guess, I think I just like to talk. I think that's what it is. Once I get talking, you can't stop me.
The solid waste people, you can talk.
But basically what happened in this case, it was one of those companies that you hire to remove junk from your
Right.
home or wherever.
Junk King.
Exactly.
We hire Junk King. There's a company.
Uh-huh.
We hire them
Okay.
because when we're they're the best. They pick it up, they knock it down, they take it, they resell it, and they I guess wherever they go, they're dump.
Exactly. So now
Instead of us illegally dumping.
Exactly. Well, this particular company, they were being hired to remove junk from different places. They were actually located in Broward County, but they were driving from Broward to Miami-Dade County to the C9 Basin and illegally dumping. So
save that money.
To save that money. But one of our cameras, again, caught them, and we worked with the police department. We were able to arrest 3 of the employees, including the owner.
You arrest the owner.
Oh, yeah. Yep. He was aware of it. This was all part.
So he was part of the decision.
Yes, this was like their normal business process. They thought it was okay to come and just dump this here.
Okay. Question. You have 2 dumpsters in the back. It is the neighborhood dump. It's an alley. People go by. There's so much furniture. At the end of the week, I could furnish a whole house. Beds, couches. So just never a good television. So what can we do about it?
Well,
we're in the city.
Right. Okay. Well, this is what I say to folks. If you ever see someone actually illegally dumping and it's in the act or in progress, dial 911. The police will come out there. and arrest the people. Now, I always tell people, don't try to, be brave and, try to say anything or confront people, because you never know what, how
one
that will
time
turn out.
a couple times we caught them, but they're going the other way. Never confront somebody that has a bigger vehicle than you. Never. I remember one guy, I walked over to him, I go, what are you doing? And he was backing up his semi. I go, why did I even do that? But point of it is, businesses get irritated. People throw trash in their trash. It's not good.
All right. Well, I would say also, listen, everybody nowadays, you have a camera on your phone, videotape it. You can send that video to us. We can take it from there.
Interesting. So we're going to talk about you again.
Okay.
Now we talked about what you do. How'd you get from starting at your job as aka like a clerk to one of the boss people?
Well, it's
and today is Women's International Month Day, so tell us all about it.
Well, again, it was interesting. I got hired what back then was called solid waste disposal, and then 6 months after I was hired, they merged with collections, and we became solid waste management. I worked there while I was going to school. I was still going in college, going to school at night. Once I got my degree, I proudly can say I graduated with honors, and I just was so sure that someone would be like knocking down my door to give me that first professional job. And
it doesn't happen like that even now.
Definitely not. It took me like about a year, to get my first professional job, and it was a very interesting job. My first job was a graffiti removal coordinator. It was the only position in the county.
How exciting.
Yeah.
And they spray canners.
Well, it was interesting. 3 days out of the week, I would actually go to the schools and talk to kids about why graffiti is bad and, how it costs the county money, to eradicate it, blah, blah, blah. And the other 2 days, I was quasi code enforcement. I would actually go out and give out warning notices for people who had graffiti on the property, basically letting them know, please paint over the graffiti or what have you.
It's tough. You got to go paint over the graffiti.
And then they come back.
They come back.
Yes.
If you leave it, they don't come back.
Yeah. Well, no, not necessarily. Back then the trick was, and I always used to tell people, the trick is as soon as it comes on, paint over it. They're going to come back, paint over it. When they see that you keep painting over it, they're going to you know what? I'm wasting my time. I'm going somewhere else.
And it's really not painting. They're tagging it.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So I did that for a few months, and then Hurricane Andrew hit. So nobody was really concerned with graffiti back then. So they kind of rearranged my duties, and I was working back then. It was that position was part of the Office of Community and Economic Development. So they rearranged my duties, and I was working with the planners and trying to. We used to manage the community development block grant. So trying to see who was going to get grants to kind of rebuild the community. And then from there, I got what I thought was going to be my dream job, which was to work for communications. And I was actually the editor for, initially they hired me to do public relations for the commissioners. And then 2 weeks after I was hired, my boss resigned. She went to work for Burger King, and they were concerned about 2 new people working for the commissioners. So they reassigned my duties again, and I became the editor of the county newspaper. They had a newspaper back then, and I did all special projects for the county. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was my dream job.
So how'd you go from the dream job to this? But this is a dream job.
Yeah, exactly. Years went by. Oh, actually, I was only that dream job for 2 months, because then one of the things that was my special project was the grand opening of the T Metro offices, which no longer existed. And so I did all the grand openings, and I had actually applied for a job with them before coming to communications, and now they offered me a job. So I said, okay. So I went to work for them for about 13 years until they got rid of Team Metro. And then when they got rid of Team Metro, I reapplied for a job to come back to solid waste, actually being the division director over procurement. And I oversaw the procurement functions for the department for about 12 years. And then this opportunity for this position came along, and the department actually did something that historically is not what they do. They decided to give another employee and myself the opportunity to do the job for 6 months to see, number one, if we were a good fit, and number two, if we even actually liked the job. And then after the year went by, after each of us got our 6 months time, we actually had to interview and through a competitive process. And here I am today. Yes. And I just celebrated on March 1st. I actually celebrated 2 years in this position. And I got to brag. I know I shouldn't toot my own horn, but
Go ahead. Somebody's got to do it.
That's right. I am the first and only woman to hold this position.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I'm really proud of that.
Okay.
Although my daughter thinks it's a boring job.
How old is your daughter?
She's 11.
Okay. So now we're going to find out who you are.
All right.
Okay. You ready?
Okay.
The questions, when I ask you, you have 3 places to answer from. Miami-Dade, Broward, or New Jersey. Okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Okay.
Are you sure?
I'm ready.
Okay. Your favorite taco restaurant. Go.
Miami.
Where?
Oh, Taco Bell. I don't know.
You eat at Taco Bell?
No, I don't know where.
You don't eat tacos?
Oh, no, actually, when I eat Tijuana Flats is really where I like to go for. Tijuana Flats? You never heard of Tijuana Flats?
Where?
What? Well, there's one across the street from my house, so I don't know.
Okay, well, that's in Broward.
Yeah, so that's Broward, really.
Hot dogs. You eat hot dogs.
Well, I only eat hot dogs at home.
Okay, that's okay. All right. Your favorite cowboy or cowboy movie?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't really do cowboys.
Okay.
Movies, I meant.
Mr. Anderson doesn't like that. Your favorite pizza place?
Pizza, Papa John's. This is so funny with all these hats.
Okay. Your favorite animal?
My doggy, Princess.
How many dogs you have?
Just one.
Okay. Favorite hamburger place? Go.
I don't know.
What, you don't eat out?
Yeah, I do, but for hamburger, I don't eat hamburgers when I eat out. Maybe Chili's.
New Year's resolution.
Do I have? I don't even make those. Who makes those? You break them the next day.
Okay. Who's your superhero?
My mom.
Oh God! International Women's Day. Your mom. Okay.
No, seriously, she's my hero.
Okay. Thanksgiving. What do you love about Thanksgiving?
All the food.
Do you cook?
Heck no. I'm probably the only Cuban who doesn't cook. For Thanksgiving, if I host Thanksgiving, everybody knows it's like a potluck, and I'll buy the turkey and stuff, but it's like from Publix where you just got to put it in the oven.
That's all right. Your favorite football team?
The Dolphins.
Okay. Getting down to the roar. Your favorite Christmas gift as a kid?
As a kid?
Yeah.
You know what? It was a doll that my mom.
Put the camera on her for a second. I did.
It was a doll that my mom bought me when I was little. I'll never forget it. I did kind of torture the poor little doll because I thought I was going to be a hairstylist. So I cut her hair and I did all kind of stuff to her, but I love that doll.
Okay, next. Where do you go out? When you go out to dinner, where's your favorite place to eat fish?
Fish. I don't eat fish that much, really. If you want to say seafood,
okay,
probably there's a place across the street from my house called Blue Ginger.
Okay.
And it's hibachi place. And I love to eat like their lobsters.
Okay, you ready?
Yes. What the heck is that? My birthday. Happy birthday.
When's your birthday?
Next month, April 20th.
Hey, mark that down. We'll go to her house for a birthday. Your husband's birthday?
December 31st.
Your child's birthday?
June 12th.
You have a mother-in-law?
Yeah, but I don't know her birthday. May something.
Wait, what's your mother-in-law's name?
Wilhelmina.
Who? What's her name?
I'm sorry. Wilhelmina.
Wilhelmina, your daughter-in-law doesn't know your birthday. All right, you didn't do well on that one.
I know. I'm fired.
Okay, 2 more questions. You say your favorite sushi restaurant?
I don't do much sushi, but
nope.
Yeah, nah.
Okay. The magic of the mix. Why solid waste one of the best departments in Miami-Dade County?
Why? Well, I think because we have the best people working there. I mean, we have and I'm not just saying that, but we have a fabulous leader. Our director is excellent. Even our past director, Alina Hudak, was excellent.
Who?
You don't know Alina?
You mean the assistant manager of Miami Beach?
Yes. Yes, she was. And
Her
let me.
husband's the police chief.
Oh well, it sounds like you know them.
Gables, former UM football player.
Oh,
Been on the sideline UM's football probably more than anybody in the history.
Oh wow, yeah, yep.
Never heard of them.
You never heard of them, right?
Okay, just
well, she was an inspiration to me. Let me tell you. I mean, she was the first in so many things, and I think she led me to believe that there's nothing that women can't do or be. You know, so. But the people who work at solid waste are fabulous people. They're good people. They're hardworking people. So I really like it there. And to me, it feels wonderful that I started my career with them, and I'm going to end my career with them.
How many years have you been working again total?
32.
And when do you retire?
6 more years.
When you turn 45.
There you go.
All right, look at that camera, and I want you to close this out. Say something. Go, close this out.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to come here today and talk to you a little bit about solid waste and about myself. I really have enjoyed it. And remember, dirty crimes carry fines.
Oh, I like that. Everybody